In a village, in a very old building, there was a hospital of a physician. Hospital was at the front side and house at the back. Whenever he goes to open his dispensary, his wife always do this thing, that whatever things are needed in the house that day, she used to make a list of everything and give it to the physician, that we need these things today: flour, pulses, sugar, salt, whatever is needed. She used to prepare the whole list and give it to the physician. Mr. Doctor, after opening clinic and after sitting on his seat, he used to pray God before doing anything. After doing meditation, after doing his prayers, Mr. Doctor used to open that list. Then he went through by everything in the list. Then he used to make a rough idea that how much this would cost. Then he used to start his daily work, and when he got enough money for the list during the day, then he used to stop charging patients. He kept on doing the treatment but stopped charging money to everyone, poor or rich. He smiles and says that today's account is closed. It was his daily routine. So one day, his wife, as per her daily routine, gave the list of things to him. Mr. Doctor opened the clinic, sat on his seat, prayed to God and offered his thanks, and opened the list. In the list, there were so many items of daily need in the house. It was just written, but in the last, at the bottom, his wife wrote such thing that Mr. Doctor could see stars in the daylight. And his eyes got closed in worries and thoughts. It was written at the end of the list of ration that on the 20th there is marriage of our daughter, so we need her dowry. He smiled and he wrote with the pen in front of that, this is God's work, he would do it. He was carefree. Then what he saw in clinic, that from an imported car, a gentleman stepped out in the modern clothing. He came to the doctor and sat down on a bench. Doctor didn't give him attention so much because he saw rich people every day. That man smiled and said to doctor, maybe you did not recognize me. How could you recognize me? Because we met 16 years ago. So this was happened, that I lives in England, and 16 years ago I was going to my parental village. So while on my way, my car got a flat tire right in front of your dispensary. So driver took the tire to the shop to fix the flat tire. It was hot weather. I was standing outside. You came to me from your dispensary and told me that I need not to stand in the hot sun. My clinic is right there. You can come sit there. By hearing your offer, I felt nice and I went and sat down in your clinic. My driver was taking very long, and your small daughter was requesting you again and again that Baba, oh dad, let's go, I'm hungry. And you were telling her to wait little bit more, just little bit more, we will go soon. I knew that very well, that you were delaying her just for me, because I was waiting. I felt embarrassed so much. So I, just to give you some money in lieu of it, I started talking. And I had told you that I lives in England. And till now, it has been 7 years since my marriage. But in our destiny, from the joy of having kids, we are unfamiliar. While you were listening to me, started preparing medicine. You said everything is in God's hands. He will do good. I wanted to give you money, but you didn't accept. You told this thing to me that today's account is closed. I was very surprised while listening this, that you are a very noble person. You are not greedy for money. I went back to England. I told my wife about yourself. His medicine worked. They got 2 very beautiful boys. You were always in our hearts. And whole of our family, they all got settled in England. Only my widowed sister lives in India. And she has a daughter too. So I have a niece too. It is her age for marriage. So I have come to attend her marriage. I am her maternal uncle. Mr. Doctor, in the last 16 years, whenever I go for shopping to buy stuff for my niece for her marriage, that made me remind of your daughter's face, who was saying to you, let's go, I'm hungry. So whatever I bought for my niece's marriage, actually I bought it for 2 girls. I got everything in a pair. And I knew it that maybe you would not accept it, but I kept on buying. When the doctor heard that, then he said softly to that gentleman, I could not understand how God works. Only he know his style. And then he showed him the list of his wife, in which she has written that we need dowry for our daughter's marriage. And then you arrived. So how can I stop believing in God?